Alright, we are good to get started now. We will be
Fun.
revealing everyone's beautiful faces now. Hello.
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 Hola!
We are here.
Oh, Jinx.
Jinxies.
Is that what we're doing? We're doing the Wayne's World thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
I was like,
Oh my god, there's a snake for the Twitch emotes, and it's just called PogChamp. So one of the snakes has now been renamed to PogChamp. It was Viper's little
Yay,
PogChamp.
PogChamp!
Does not fit in the naming.
That's fair. That's fair. It doesn't fit in the naming convention.
I'm gonna have to get another snake. Sorry.
One more snake has gone missing.
you have to roll for that.
Returned and
No.
another went missing.
What's even better is instead, Lucian finds Viper's favorite snake, and they now have like a little collar, and it just says PogChamp on it. Okay.
Snakes.
Your poor snakes.
Yes.
Listen, they're alive. That's what's important.
And very well fed.
And very well fed.
They will be returned in better condition than you found them in.
Mm-hmm.
And they look up at Viper and they're like, Father, why did you not gift us with speech? Lucian gifted us with speech.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I don't have enough XP for that.
It's just like, you've eaten from the, you've
Not
eaten
for all
from-
of them. So we have everybody here for a change. Hooray. Which
All
will-
the pebbles.
Only for 1 week, so don't get used to it.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then the next week I'm not
Well, yeah,
available.
then we lose her next week again, and so it's fine. It's fine. It'll just be a lot
Hold
of
on,
time
available
jumps.
next week. It's not the next week.
Someday Lucian and Viper will meet.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Someday all of the coterie members will know each other. But today we have everyone, and so we will jump right in and get started. Lucian had a very clever recap for us, so I will have Cadence take it away and go over what happened.
Headbutt of Cain, Ivory Tower in 1 hour, body in a bag. We get the power. Telling jokes, talking to Max, nothing better.
I pretty much summarized all of it. The
Snakes on a plane.
snakes on a plane.
I'm sick of these motherfucking rats in this motherfucking train yard.
Snakes on a plane. We'll add that.
There you go. And with the
On a train.
On a train. They fought the Nosferatu in a train yard, so
Fun.
it technically counts.
All right, snakes on a train. Make me cross things off.
Just add it in. Just do a little blurb off to the side. It doesn't,
No, it's too late now. It's all
too late.
crossed
It's
off.
done.
You ruined the paper.
it's done.
It's done.
Can't fix it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but with that recap, everybody knows that with the defeat of this Nosferatu, the Masquerade is preserved once more. This hunter no longer puts any of the other coteries at risk or upsetting the balance of things within Phoenix, and time has progressed again.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
I have a funny thing how Viper finds out about what happened.
Okay.
So basically, Viper sends everyone in the group a text message, which is already rare because he doesn't do that often.
Snakes?
No, he goes 911 emergency lab now. And if they go there, he basically explains this whole thing about 7 of his rat snakes went missing and how he thinks that because they are dealing with an enemy, a suspect who deals with rats, that this enemy kidnapped his snakes for revenge. and that they need to go defeat him in 2 seconds, like immediately, so he can get his snakes back. And then I feel like it would explain. They would be like, "Oh, he's already defeated."
Sorry, your
But-
snakes are dead.
What?
Who
Sorry, they're dead.
do such a thing?
Yeah, I don't know if we wanted to. That was my
Well, why
summary of it,
don't we
if
do
we wanted
that? Why
to.
don't we do that
Okay,
scene
cool.
to get
I
Dear
didn't-
Viper back in place?
Yeah.
So for everyone, this takes place the next day. Viper had been busy, but following your visit to the Ivory Tower, everyone wakes up to see this 911 alert. And you all gather at the zoo outside of Viper's lab where they can come out to greet you.
Oh, he doesn't greet. He opens the door and motions for them to come in,
It's a
like
greet.
immediately.
That's a greet. You invite them in because you're vampires.
Wow, this must be serious.
Yes, it's very serious. Extremely, like 911 emergency serious.
Antonio is definitely like grinning and like walks into the lab, pretty much knowing what this is all about.
So then
Callisto
he,
has no idea what this is all about, but follows.
He motions. No, not motions. He walks over and like his mask is down and everything, so like you can like see, and like his hair is all disheveled, and he's just like, he looks stressed as fuck. He has like, if he didn't already have them, he has bags under his eyes, like vampire equivalent of bags under his eyes, and he is like, oh my god. Okay, so he brings you over to a row of terrariums, and then there is like crime scene tape, like across a section of them, and he points and he goes, 7 of my rat snakes are missing. 7 exactly.
No.
We need to find out,
This is horrible.
No.
1, who did it, 2, discuss theories, 3, get them back.
4,
So
make
first
them
one.
suffer.
Oh, both. Get them back and make them suffer. So first,
You want to make your snakes suffer?
no. Make whoever took them suffer.
Because you said get them back and make them suffer.
No, get them back and then make them, as in the person who took them, suffer. I was using a gender-neutral pronoun.
After
It's a new
getting
thing the
back-
kids are doing these days, you know.
Well, I would say we most likely already took care of whoever took care of the snakes.
Well, do you want to hear
Oh,
my theory?
oh, sure.
So, basically, I was thinking, and there's this, you know how our suspect has rats, and how that guy over there, and he points to the rat that's like under the microscope and like cut open and all that, was one of his rats. He's getting revenge. He took my 7 snakes. So we need to go get it.
Maybe he fed your snakes to the rats.
Kind of like look to Antonio.
He like,
Did we find any snakes in the area? We didn't really search the train yard.
I mean, we did not search it afterward, but I think it is probably a good assumption that they could have gone with him or he had obtained them somehow. He did have animalism.
Pied
and we need to
Piper.
go.
Oh my
Go
god, do you
back.
think he learned to tame snakes and rats? There's rats in the name. I'm not helping.
Maybe he was just
trying to get the rats, and he ended up with the rat snakes by accident. It was like, it's in the name. It's not my fault.
Well, Viper, we did track Rat Daddy to a train yard, but I don't remember seeing any snakes in the area. Just a lot of rats, and our target. I'm sorry,
Back
we
at
probably
square
should have
one.
brought him here first for interrogation, but he's with the prince has him now.
Well, then I'm going to the prince. And he starts walking out.
I do not think that would be a good idea.
It is a good idea. These are my snakes that we're talking about. These are my children. The only thing I have a connection to in this undead life.
And all three of you just feel a slight pain in your undead heart.
Wait.
You have some more of them, don't you?
I have plenty more, but these are 7 of them. I have 7 less.
Why are you attached to so many things?
They're my babies.
And
My
if they're
children.
your children, wouldn't you want them to grow up and go out into the world?
Not
Find
if they
other
were
snakes
kidnapped.
to be snaky with.
Not if they were kidnapped.
Getting snaky with it.
Getting snaky with those rats.
I
I'm going
don't
to the prince.
think. I don't think we can just walk right into the ivory tower. I can't. Maybe make.
This also means someone got into my lap.
Again, that's not necessarily true. With animalism, someone can summon an animal.
The enclosure, I guess.
So they can summon the snakes to crawl out of their terrariums?
Well, then we have a serial kidnapper on the loose, and that I feel like is a pretty big masquerade breach.
Well, I mean, it's not on the loose anymore because we took care of him.
Well, if he's walking around with snakes behind him, then yeah, that would definitely be a breach. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that.
I have so many things I have to do. But I guess we'll move the murder to priority number 2. Then we'll make snakes priority number 1.
Viper.
I guess coterie priority number 3. Then number 4 is Antonio. Number 5 is research.
Antonio.
What?
What are you gonna do to Antonio that he's a priority?
Oh, he's suspect as shit. Oh, sorry, I did not mean to curse.
Why am I suspect?
You could curse when you're frustrated. It's fine.
You are very suspect.
How am I suspect? I've only ever helped the coder.
Why would I tell you why you're suspect? Because then you can try and hide your tracks.
I mean, he's the traitor.
What traitor?
There's always a traitor.
A traitor.
Antonio rolls his eyes, just like, oh my god, I can't with you.
Why is there a traitor?
Why is our group a thing? Why do we have to keep track of the masquerade? Because there's always someone that's going to break it.
Like Antonio.
Like Antonio.
Maybe you should just kill all the vamps and then they can't break it.
That sounds like something Antonio would say.
Are you a machine? Did they program you as a rogue AI or something? Well, they can't break the masquerade if there are none of them.
While that's technically true, it's sort of counterproductive. Viper, why don't we make why don't we try scheduling a meeting with the prince if you wish to speak with them?
Mm-hmm. I do. Also, I gotta contact my sire. She owns this lab. And then he'll go over to his desk and start writing a letter.
Yep. What does the letter entail? Just a summary.
Yeah, he's just basically like, And his his explanation of it is probably like it makes no sense. Like in compared to like any of his other notes, like normally they're like really clear and concise and like, but this is just like 7 snakes are gone. This rat guy, we think that this is it, but now I need to go see the prince, and then it's just like, yeah.
Okay. Is that where we're going to leave poor Viper with the knowledge of what's going on?
Callista has no idea what's going on.
Antonio is very amused.
I mean, we could also, I don't know, search the train yard more. These are just the options I can think of. I have no idea who would want to take your snakes and why.
How do you even find snakes outdoors?
It's actually very simple. You just kind of go look for rustling. No.
Hey, Viper, do you not have the ability to call the snakes to you?
Not right now. I can do this guy, and then I whistle, and my little snake comes over. But not yet. My sire still has to teach me that stuff.
If your sire can teach it to you, do you think?
Do I think? Yes.
I mean, do you think that you can? I guess it'd be another reason to another way to get them back. I really don't know how your powers work.
If you leave food outside your door, that works with cats. So, you put the litter box and the food and water out by your door.
Yeah, but cats are... depends on what you're trying to do. If someone took them, they probably have them in an enclosure somewhere. They're probably they didn't escape. There's no way they escaped. Or else that would happen every day. We have a very complicated system, and then he goes over and like opens one of the enclosures with like some weird, I don't know, technology.
See, the snakes couldn't have opened that.
Lucian, you're very familiar with this layout and how to easily bypass it.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for your snakes. And if we find them, then I'll listen.
Antonio's like, can't talk to them, check. Can't summon them, check. So what are the chances Viper would notice the difference if Antonio just picked up 7 random rat snakes?
Maybe do you think maybe putting out a reward for whoever finds your snakes and brings them back?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen
Put
this
out
snake?
those posters.
We'll take out note card ads.
We're not
Listen,
allowed.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but
You see, we're in a zoo. We're not really allowed to do that.
Oh.
People will freak out.
Yeah, can you imagine what'll happen if they find out that your zoo snakes have gone missing? That could put your whole grant in jeopardy.
Better than losing leopard or
Perhaps
tiger or something.
Perhaps something a little more subtle, like just a minor boon for whoever finds them.
Well, that's
Possibly,
assuming it's
or
a
I can
kindred.
just find
Yeah,
them
within.
myself. I don't know. I'll wait to hear back from my sire and then talk to the prince.
Cool.
Well, do you need anything from us then? I'm really just able to offer suggestions.
No. Unless you know where they are.
Find the bastard who did this and make them pay.
Literally. I mean, just help find them.
Okay.
Okay.
Right then, other than snakes, what do we got?
In terms of what?
I don't know, stuff to do.
I still have that murder I have to look into. You guys said it wasn't important.
Well, I'm gonna go check the computer. Antonio walks out and starts going over all the stuff on the computer and trying to see if he can find anything interesting.
All right.
I mean, I guess it might be prudent to keep an eye on what the police are doing with the case, if anything. Other than that, I have some personal things I need to take care of.
Then you can do that. I'm gonna work on finding my snakes.
Alright.
Well, I didn't find much.
You turned on the computer.
Yeah. You've had the computer up and working.
Yeah, I was gonna say, am I able to check cameras if we have any?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
If you want to give me a, let's see, what would be a good role for you for this? Let me open your sheet, or I'll open Olivia's sheet, because that'll be easier. Give me a, wits technology roll.
When I get any bonuses for this being where I spend all of my time?
Well, it's not research, technically. Yes for reptiles.
Zoology? Okay.
Yes for reptiles, because you're specifically invested in what is going on with yours.
Crit!
So that would be 4 successes then. Did you want to re-roll that one?
Sure. These are my snakies.
Those are your snakies. Which, Lucian, if they get one more success, that's going to be,
Did it roll? No.
Oh.
Yes, it is. It's another crit!
That's so dead.
My babies!
So
It's about those snakes, I'm just saying.
Alright. If you'll permit, I'll describe what Viper sees, unless you want to tell her.
Go right ahead.
So, to the Malkavian, Lucian thought they were very stealthy when they infiltrated this closed circuit of your personal security. And maybe for mortal society, they aren't very noticeable, but to the keen eye of a gangrel and of someone whose, personal territory had been invaded, you are watching for any strange and obscure things. And what you end up seeing is Lucian start to move across the screen, first in a cardboard box, and then as they get about a quarter of the way across this camera screen, they burst out of the box and they do a tumble dive into a bush. And from there, they uproot the bush and they move across the other side of the screen, just moving in like a diagonal motion. Then they pop out of the bush and they crunk lean up against a wall. And they
Still
just
holding a branch.
Yep, still holding a branch, and they just kind of shimmy sliding across this wall. And it looks really, really stealthy, but in the worst kind of ways. And then, they enter the reptile house, and then maybe, 10 minutes later, they come out with a box in their hand, and you can clearly see written on this cardboard box, it says shitload of snakes, and one of your snakes' head poking out as Lucian just casually walks out the other side, not attempting any of the stealth as they leave.
I feel like he is watching it, and then at the end...
Like everyone, have a good sleep.
So where's the snakes?
Where's the snakes?
Where's
Who took the
I
snakes?
just found out.
Just found out.
Are you going to say that?
Everyone,
Say,
hi. I
Good
hope you
night.
like that. Good sleep.
We good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so cute. I picture he's like leaning over the desk like this, just like watching, and then slowly he just turns and is like glaring.
You.
Must have been my evil twin.
Where are they?
They were wearing a mustache, weren't they? You can tell because the mustache.
No. Where are they?
Where are what? My evil twin?
snake?
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Over there, like,
No.
you know, still not fighting anything. Like whistling.
My snakes.
Snakes are happy and well fed.
But where are they?
Safe.
Where?
In the city.
No.
You want me to bring them back, don't you?
Yes.
But I like them.
Don't care. They're not yours.
Huddle together.
How would you feel? How would you feel if I went and took your polar bear rug? Pillow.
Snakes like the polar bear too.
Yeah. He. Let me see real fast. Can I activate feral weapons?
Yeah.
Okay.
You sure can.
You sure
As like
can,
an
buddy.
intimidation.
Yeah.
And you guys thought the first combat was gonna be Antonio.
Just
But
as
you're
an
the traitor.
intimidation. He's not gonna attack, but like I think he just like opens his mouth and like, but he does that really weird because you know how his mouth is like snake mouth,
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
all of his like mouth opens and his fangs just like start elongating.
I cast Unseen Passage and run.
All right. So hold on. Let me make sure. Does feral weapons have rouse check?
Probably.
Oh God,
Let me
Unseen
see.
Passage does.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, one rouse check,
All right.
but no
Rouse-
skill rolls.
Rouse checks from the both of you. You haven't attacked them
I mean-
yet, for sure.
They both work regardless. It just makes you hungrier if
Yep.
you lose.
Viper gets a little hungrier, which shows evidently as they dislocate and elongate their jaw.
Mm-hmm.
And then unseen passage. I need to make sure that works if they're watching you, because that might be a problem. Let's open up the book.
You can move around while staying hidden. The user is functionally invisible per the usual obfuscate limitations.
No, but it doesn't give you the obfuscate limitation. That's like in the dictionary. It's just like, what does this mean? And it's like, or like, I don't know, like.
Oh. Only if the observer has their attention drawn to the user can they make a detection roll.
Okay, so they can attempt to look for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you cannot use this power to disappear while being actively observed.
It automatically fails. I still think because it's true to Malkavian form that to just like Callista turns around and sees that Lucian is there, but Viper is still fixated on their position.
I so badly wanted to be like, Lucian's like, look, a distraction.
Look, you're snakes.
Over there.
Calista walks back and is like, what are you staring at?
Mhm.
Alright, Lucine goes back and gets the freaking snakes.
Well,
And one by one hands them back over. Here's Samuel. Here's Susan. This is Ajax. Loki, Millie, Molly, and Zeke.
He puts them back in, grabs a whiteboard marker, and writes their names down on the cages. And then he looks and says, "Don't do it again."
mhm.
And then he looks at the others. Don't even think about doing it.
I have no need for snakes.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
At this point, Antonio is definitely looking up snakes on the computer.
Don't worry,
Um,
we'll get you your own.
You could have asked, and I would have said yes before this whole event, but now your trust is...
I didn't. You were gone. I needed snakes
For what?
to eliminate rats. Because rats were everywhere.
Cool. He checks off on his notepad
Viper, do you know
and
any
takes down the
good,
crime scene tape.
do you know any good pet stores, Viper?
Don't buy from pet stores, you should adopt.
Do you know any good snake adoption agencies?
Oh, hey, Viper.
Hmm.
I brought your snakes. I found your snakes. Brought them back. You owe me a small boon.
No, I found out you were the person that took them. Therefore, I should make you suffer.
I think the boon's
But I'm
well
being nice.
spent. I think the boon's well spent skipping the suffering.
And the boon.
Now let's continue.
Do important things.
Mm-hmm. That was important. Wait. And then I'm good.
And then you're good.
Now that mystery is solved,
It was the easiest one ever.
we did solve that one pretty quickly. So, do you know any good snake adoption agencies, Viper?
Rescue somewhere.
What'd you say?
I said yes, there was a rescue somewhere.
As someone who has not violated the sanctity of your territory, am I allowed to get an address and/or number?
How will I know you take proper care of them?
You don't.
Then I will be responsible for their suffering.
Viper, you are so overdramatic.
Or not dramatic enough.
I think he'll turn and be like, these are snakes that we're talking about. As if that's like something that's very important, but... They're the most delicate and stealthy and beautiful creatures in this world.
I
And
mean,
he's like
I
petting
thought,
his snake.
I thought those were butterflies, but
No, butterflies are ugly.
Very
That's
stealthy.
And you
Okay.
just see their beady eyes and their tongues. Look at it. And their scales. And you can tickle them if you go like this. And then I'll like do it, and then the snake will be like, ah! And then I'll give a
Let's
little
check the
kiss.
computer again. Can I check the computer again now?
Have you guys seen Black Butler?
Yes.
Pizzas.
Some.
So you know Sebastian with the cat?
Mm-hmm.
How like they'll just turn and like there'll be something dramatic going on, and then suddenly Sebastian sees a cat and he's like, it's little toe beans, look at it, so cute, so sweet. That's literally what Viper's like with these snakes. Like normally he's like very like just not stoic, but just kind of like uninterested. But right now he's like cuddling his snake and he's like giving it a kiss and he's like, look at the eyes, they're so cute and beady. Look like little blackberries.
It's a very beautiful snake. I do have work I should be doing.
Yes, I was gonna say, since that mystery is solved, you guys aren't needed here anymore. So if you want to leave, you can.
Right? Okay. It was nice seeing you, Viper. Just let me know if there's anything else I can do to help.
Okay.
And I slowly back out.
He was like, I'm bored, I'm coming to the club with you.
Viper is in the process of printing off a sign that says, keep
Violators
out.
will be struck.
Yeah,
Survivors will be
it
struck
says, like,
again.
Literally, like something like, or like, I was gonna say like a picture of Lucian, you know, like things that people put on like at restaurants or amusement parks, put up to say like, watch for this person. It's just like the printer just slowly starts going and then it just pops out. You just see Lucian's face. Or a shitty drawing of him.
There's like a sign in front of like all the tanks, like, you know, don't go with this person, you know?
Yeah, literally.
Have you seen this man? Do not let them in.
Or like stranger danger. And then
It's for all the snakes. It's like, do not trust this person.
I'm sorry, alright? I'm sorry! I had a
Sorry
need.
enough to tell me the truth.
Sometimes it's better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Do you lie a lot? Are you lying right now when you shake your head?
Wait, if she nods and then you ask if she's lying and she's still nodding.
No, because he went.
One of us tells the truth, the other one always lies.
No, but if you ask, like, are you lying? And they say, or if you ask, do you lie a lot? And they say yes. And then you say, are you lying now? And they say yes.
I'll just assume that they're lying about everything.
Probably the safest choice.
Mm-hmm.
Something on me is always crossed.
Just going back to your stuff. Alright, you guys can leave.
Oh, Antonio's already
everyone
gone.
out. Yeah, he's kicking everyone out.
You are dismissed. Get out.
But I'm watching Lucian as Lucian is leaving.
Well, that was engaging.
Yeah. Thought I had it figured out.
always go by a pet store.
Yeah. I suppose.
I don't know. How about this? We can go to a pet store and you can pick something out.
Yeah. Right. Cool.
But you have to promise me you'll take care of it.
Feed
Cross
it,
my
water it, take it for walks.
I mean,
And
if
I
we find a
won't pull
Zamichi
it at
somewhere, we
all.
probably could take it for walks. Put a leg here, a leg there.
We'll stop by a pet store on the way home.
Wait, quick question, out of character. Ooh, I got the hiccups. Just so I know, the previous stuff with like the hunter and stuff like that, that's all set, all done.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
you guys filled them in that's all done. I was getting the impression they were still confused about that, but okay, they're all on the same page. Good.
We're done.
Yeah, I feel like that would have eventually come about.
I mean, they didn't tell you about the snakes, so who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, no, but like they did kind of say like, oh well, we did defeat him or like we not defeated him, but like we did, meet him in a train yard and like,
There
brought him to the
were a
prince.
lot of implications, but I didn't hear a direct. Yeah,
We
he's
definitely
done
would
it.
have filled Viper in if it didn't become like, 30 questions and where were you on Thursday at 8 p.m. and snakes and,
On,
Planes.
on the
Rats.
ride to the nearest pet store, I think I do kind of like glance to Antonio. How is it? What is true faith?
So I am not really sure. My understanding is that it's kind of like being very religious, but it grants you powers in some way.
You didn't have anything like that?
Do I look like I believe in anything, my dear?
Well, I thought that you used to be one of those hunters as well, weren't you?
I hunted monsters with guns that killed people. I was trying to save the other humans. It had nothing to do about or
How does one
I mean,
back
I grew up in Spain, so I'm Spanish and thus Catholic, which is pretty much the entire country, but
was that the first time you saw someone using magic like that?
Bryn, how rare would you say it is? That's pretty
It's
damn rare,
very
right?
rare, yeah.
Like, so even though I was in the Inquisition, I've probably never seen anything like that. Would I have even heard about anything like that?
No, that would have been the first time any
Yeah,
of you have
I
seen a
figured.
display of true faith.
I figured.
So the thing about true faith for everybody just out of character too is religious individuals largely also deny its existence because to admit that true faith exists and then not be able to manifest it yourself kind of casts doubt on your own ability and your own faith. So they're just like, that's not a thing. We all have true faith. Wink. Because who would admit that they don't have enough faith to be able to conjure God's ability to, actually do miracles or smite evil things? No one.
Well, I mean, on the other hand, the people that have true faith probably don't want anybody to know that they have true faith because they're usually very, very expensive on the other side market.
And it makes them a target and all that good stuff. Yeah. So they probably it's not advertised and it takes a very special person to be able to do it.
Yeah. I mean, any doubts whatsoever. Takes strength of will, that's for sure.
It is something that's doable for Kindred, but very hard. Because, coincidentally, I don't think God restricts you all from being able to do it, because, like, you know, crosses and stuff still don't have any hindrance for you. You all can still have faith. True faith may or may not work. I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me on it just yet.
So, I don't know about in 5th edition. I know in the last version, vampires could have it, but they had to have, like, humanity of 10, and, like, literally, like, work for it. It wasn't just like, oh, I have true faith, though.
Yeah, you have to.
It's, like, super difficult to get. Yeah. It is, like, incredibly difficult for us to get.
So the fact that a kindred had it meant he was still...
Well, if he had it before he was turned, because he was just recently turned, then it probably came over with him. Even through his turning, he did not lose his faith.
I see.
Yeah, the wiki only has the older edition stuff where there's actually a rating for faith.
I mean, I'm glad I was able to misdirect that display, but just seeing and hearing about it now, I just have more questions.
So, out of character, now this is a forum, so don't take this as gospel. But this says 5e, can vampires take true faith as a background? Yes, a vampire can have true faith. The canon NPC Ferox, a gargoyle, had true faith, for example. STs, in my experience, are reluctant to let PCs have true faith because blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
That opens a whole can of worms.
We all know how that song and dance goes, but...
You will be killed immediately.
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
To be honest, it is not a hunter thing. It is something else.
but they're literally channeling God through them.
Divine power.
I mean, some people could see it that way, yes. Other people could see it as sheer force of will.
Oh.
If you think about it, belief in something so strongly could cause it to happen. I mean, for me, it doesn't necessarily indicate that there is or is not a god. It is merely the presence of another kind of power. The power of belief.
And do you believe in God?
I do, yes. But I take that on faith.
All right.
I believe things are left as a mystery for a reason. If everyone knows if God is real, then it kind of defeats the purpose, no?
I've always imagined faith being built on something.
When you look at everything, it seems to me that there are so many coincidences to the way everything is set up that if there was no other explanation, it doesn't make much sense to me. The mathematical probability of it all just doesn't fit.
I guess that makes sense.
Antonio glances back and like smirks and says, "Right, Lucian?"
Right, what?
And then they pull up to the snake rescue.
We weren't given the snake rescue location.
I mean, you could probably look it up. Just Viper wasn't going to be responsible with giving you the information.
Alright, we looked it up. We entered it. We enter whatever rescue sanctuary.
I mean, like, you can just Google that. That's not.
Yeah.
Google is a thing, guys.
Yeah.
You're just gonna leave a trail behind and breach the masquerade.
By buying a snake, by like adopting a snake.
Worst things have happened.
Oh my God! These people are obviously vampires.
The
They went and
Second
adopted a
Inquisition
snake.
monitors all things, including snake sanctuaries.
Yeah, we can't enter until they say we can come in.
Alright, Lucian.
I need to get 2 snakes because that, then they won't be lonely.
And then you'll have 10 snakes.
As long as you're taking care of them, you can do whatever you want with them.
Cross my heart.
I need one snake for this snake, one snake for that snake.
We'll get Lucian snakes.
And just slowly replace the snakes with other snakes. Okay. To make this short and easy, you guys go in and you buy a bunch of snakes. Lucian, I see. Do you have money? Lucian does not have money. Well, that's not true. You have 1
A
dot in
little bit.
resources. Let's see. What does 1 dot in resources equate to?
Not much.
It's paycheck by paycheck, I think.
I think it is paycheck by paycheck.
Normal life.
I mean, you have enough to like buy a snake. It's not going to be,
I don't know. Snakes can be pretty costly. You gotta get their pens and food and all of that good stuff. Let's see. 1 dot. You live paycheck to paycheck. Apartment, car, camping equipment. Wow. Those are like, that's a vast range. If you go from living in your car to living in an apartment.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
like, okay, that. Alright, so.
I'll buy some like I'll buy them a terrarium and stuff so that they have that.
Alright, so if other people with actual money chip in,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be hard for Lucian. How many snakes in total are we looking at here?
Just 2.
Just 2?
Just 2. Yeah.
Alright, hold on. Yeah, okay. So there's 5 snakes to choose from. And, let's see here.
joke's on you. They're actually ministry that are just currently transformed into snakes.
Hey, there might be.
Oh no, I usually put that in my. Sorry, I'll mute myself.
Definitely didn't just roll to see if there was anything weird about these snakes. Lucian, as you're looking over the 5, one of them in particular stands out to you. It's got dark little beady eyes, and its scales are black, but at the top of its head, just between the eyes, it has like a splotch of white scales that make like a little skull.
Ooh. All right, I have Mirabelle and Joseph. Joseph's the skull. He's edgy.
With 2 snakes in hand, the 3 of you head off. Since we have not had Viper around for a while, today's going to be a little more focused on them, which means some time passes and their sire arrives at the zoo.
Oh no.
You said you wanted to speak to them.
Yes, I know. But I was just like, oh wait.
Oh no, the thing I wanted is here.
Oops.
Well, I guess we're oh no, because that means I have to explain the whole situation to them. To her.
Sabina Cadell arrives. Yes, queen. She arrives and makes her way into your office. And I don't remember the voice I gave her before because she's only shown up on screen once. But she looks to Viper and she says, "You made it sound like it was urgent, darling, so I came over as quickly as I could."
Yeah, it was kind of. I mean, it still kind of is, but not as urgent as it was. That doesn't make sense, but it's okay.
That is alright. Things often do not make sense in this world.
Yeah. So, I found out one of my coterie members took 7 of my snakes and then lied to my face about it.
Did you take something of theirs?
No. I took their trust.
The important thing of maintaining dominance is making sure that they understand that they can't mess with you again.
How would you suggest I do something like that? I'm not the best at talking with people, interacting with people.
Well, in the wild, when 2 animals have a dispute over what is sacred to them, they often fight. I imagine you bore your fangs at the very least.
See, but my main concern right now is if honestly I don't like them. The team, the group, they're not trustworthy. But then at the same time I don't want to go against the wishes of our society, I guess, of putting us as a team. But part of me thinks something is going to happen and they're going to go down and I'm going to go down with them when all I've tried to do is just do my job.
Well, I suppose if you've established what your critical space is, the area where one should not tread or else it will trigger your fight or flight response, the only other thing you can do is establish a rapport with the individual, and it would sound like the coterie as a whole. I've only heard good things about your coterie. I can't imagine why you would have such distrust of them.
Well, for one, they just took my stuff and then lied about it, and when I asked if they lie a lot, they said yes.
What clan is this member from?
Malkavian?
And her brow furrows quite heavily. You're going to learn very quickly that lying within the Malkavians is second nature, not because they have any malicious intent, but because they don't have control over their own faculties most of the time.
How does anyone expect them to control something as big and complicated as the masquerade?
We don't. The Malkavians
So-
are given a great deal of leeway because once upon a time they were considered wise and seers. It's only in recent nights that madness has gripped them, and while many keep them at arm's length, they still continue to be useful. They are the razor's edge that we walk, and while not many a Malkavian has caused a masquerade breach, you are rolling the dice, as it were, with them every time you interact.
So I should just not interact?
I would say...
That sounds simple.
I would say with gangrel patience, you should be thoughtful with your interactions. You are vinegar and water. It's not that you don't mix well together, it's just that you will rise to the surface above it. If we swirl you together, you'll commingle, but eventually you'll make your space.
Okay, that makes sense. Somewhat.
It's difficult to explain because Malkavians are difficult creatures. Just know that while I'm not making an excuse for their actions, they are not in complete control of themselves. Much like we are not always in true control of ourselves as we work in tandem with the beast. We often let the beast have control as a partner. They have the whole of their Malkavian identity within them.
And then also I have another well, I mean, I have a few issues, but I don't want to burden you with them all.
I wouldn't trust Antonio either. He seems like the type.
Definitely. You wouldn't?
No, of course not.
Oh, definitely not.
He
no.
spent his entire life hunting our kind, and now he is one of us. I wouldn't trust him, but I would not go out of my way to hinder his efforts. In time, he may fully embrace us, or he might become the most dangerous of you.
I don't understand why he's with us.
Because the prince deemed it so.
Yes, and I'm not doubting the prince at all. I was just wondering.
You have
Could be that he trusts us to keep an eye on him?
You're in a unique position, Viper. As the Vehmi, it is your duty to exact punishment on those who would breach the masquerade. Who better to bring to do so than a former hunter?
That makes sense.
It's this sort of mentality that he is a tool to be used, and if in the end the tool is broken, it can be replaced. But it is such a thing that you are there to also make sure that the tool does not be turned against the Camerilla.
Okay, and then we have this current thing. All of these arrows keep pointing us to Brazil. In terms of masquerade breaches, each of the previous cases, missions, masquerade breaches that we have dealt with have had to do with Brazil.
Has your coterie mentioned that to anyone higher?
I think we mentioned it to the Maxwell, the shadow of our coterie.
Understandable. And I know you're, in the grand scheme of things, still very new to all of this, but the prince's power only extends to the city, and there are those outside of the city that have power even greater than those who maintain each bastion of the Camerilla. If this issue is international, there are those who would need to give permission for you all to investigate further, or it may be deemed that it is something that those above us will have to take care of.
That's what I think it will be. I don't think we should get ahead of ourselves and step into tread waters where we're not allowed to be. Not supposed to be, that are above our pay grade, that kind of thing. I'd prefer to stay in Phoenix.
Well, they do say Brazil is just a far southern Phoenix. No one says that. Don't take that to heart.
Yeah. Alright, well, I will make this they will not be stepping foot in here again. None of them. Can we change the security on this place?
Of course. Have you considered the bear traps?
No, not, but I can.
Well, at least some poison dart blowers with so your snake venom then.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Start working on that. So I will report the findings that we have with this whole Brazil thing to the higher ups and then let them do what they want with it. Does that sound like a good plan?
Sounds like a good plan.
Oh, and then I also have, I think this might be a similar answer, but there was something to do with with the breach that we were dealing with in Phoenix. There was a connection to somewhere outside of Phoenix, is as in a murder that happened. It's out of our area, I believe.
Jurisdiction,
That's the word. And I think it's worth looking into. Obviously, we'd have to get permission, but I was going to keep an eye on it over the next few weeks and see if there are any updates.
I understand. Well,
I guess one thing I'm confused about with this whole Vehemi job description that we have is, do we prevent the masquerade from being...
your job is largely reactionary, darling. You're not the thought police. You don't prevent anyone from doing anything. You are there to clean up when someone steps out of line.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Good to know. All right, I will keep my priorities there then, and not think too much into it.
I know it is not as lucrative as a position such as the Marischal, but we all have our parts to play.
And I'm okay with playing it. I just need to know what my area of expertise will be.
Of course.
Anyways, here's some research I found on this ball python over here.
Oh, fascinating. And the two of you walk over to go look at this research.
Snakes!
Yes.
Snakes. Yep. Alright.
They bond over.
I mean, they're both animal lovers. It's fine.
Dead animal lovers.
And then we will cut over to Antonio. And I almost called you Camilla, and I don't know why. Callista.
Hey, that's me.
Antonio and I almost did it again. Callista. I don't know why I'm trying to put an M in there. Antonio and Callista, you guys had arranged to set up a meeting. A meeting that would be done without the rest of the coterie. Antonio, where exactly did you want to have this happen?
You mean with the Thin Bloods?
Mm-hmm.
Wherever they're most comfortable. I was gonna go down to like where they hang out.
Okay. Callista, why don't I get a roll from you then?
Sure.
Because you would be the one reaching out to these people for Antonio. Give me a charisma investigation? Yes. No. Give me a charisma persuasion. That might be able to convince people to tell you where they are. You run the network.
Well, I'm not seducing anyone, so...
You're not seducing anyone. I mean, you could be.
It could be.
You could be. Do you want to swing it that way? Like, this is a how do you get the information? I suppose I should just pose it that way. How do you get the information about where to find these other Thin Bloods? That's a much better way to do it.
She probably, I don't know. I feel like my charisma is probably good enough to handle it, but yeah, I think I just reach out to them normally and just kind of appeal to them that just appeal to them as another Thin Blood.
Okay.
In the hopes that they might have a safer life.
Huh. That was unexpected. Do you want a willpower?
Yeah.
Alright.
Huh.
Jeez.
You feeling okay over there, Callista? Do you want a willpower anymore?
By the way, why did you roll 3 for willpower instead of 4?
Because you can only roll a maximum of 3 dice. I
Really?
might have to seduce them.
Yeah. What is going on? Okay. Do you want to burn any more willpower on this?
No, because then I'm starting
Nothing
to get into
left.
dangerous territory.
Okay.
So I think I'll look to I think I'll look to Antonio and say, how important is this?
Well, hold on. I got to tell you what your results are before you decide it's a failure. So it takes longer than expected, but as kindred, you have all the time in the world, and Callista has more time to invest than the rest of you, which means just over this time, she starts to make friends with more Thin Bloods, and eventually one of them is reluctant enough to promise to arrange a meeting. They definitely say that they are not going to give you where any of them reside as their own safe havens, and you will have to meet them somewhere in public.
Entirely understandable.
And so when they tell you they want to meet in public, they give you a location that is... What's a nice, fun location in Phoenix? Currently Phoenix is on fire, so it's going to be hard to narrow this down.
They would like to be in the fire.
Mm-hmm. Well, my brother, who's still there, sent me a funny thing where it was like, it's so hot in Phoenix because of all the wildfires that basically the ash and smoke clouds that are rising up are creating a bubble that is keeping it from getting hotter than it's supposed to be. So the fire is literally keeping them cool. Oof. And it's like, Jesus, that is awful.
That's crazy.
So, a botanical garden, you say? Where is a good spot? How did I not know about the Japanese friendship garden while I lived there? Fun. Oh, it looks really neat, all things considered. You guys are brought to the... Perfect. You guys are brought to the Talking Stick Resort Arena. This is where the Phoenix Suns play. It's in downtown Phoenix, right smack dab in the middle of Phoenix itself. Literally right here on the E. But it is a large sports arena. They get you tickets to get you inside, and basically you guys are brought to a section of the arena to watch this game, in quotes. But there are not many people down this row or section that you guys have these seats for, but there are 5 kind of not squirrely, but very antsy looking, nervous individuals who are seated down this row. And there are other people in it, so that it doesn't look suspicious that you're just sitting down in this sectioned off area. But just in the area immediately around you, there aren't many people. And so the social distancing that's in place and the noise of the sports game going on, you guys would be able to have this conversation.
Callista will look to Antonio and just like cant her head in their direction before approaching them.
Okay.
Are these seats
So
taken?
I did not hear you, Shay.
Are these seats taken?
When you ask that and look, you see that of the 5 individuals, there are 3 females and 2 males. One of the gentlemen look up and say, "No, not at all. We were holding these for friends, and I think they've just arrived."
I smile and extend a hand. Callista.
I'm Sam. Nice to meet you. He shakes your hand.
This is
Antonio will nod from behind Calista's and kind of wave and say, "Antonio." I guess we'll kind of motion to like sit.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's seated, and of course, facing forward to look like you're watching the game. But the first thin blood who introduced himself says, "So, your friend here had been trying very hard to reach out to us. We're curious why anybody's taking an interest in our people."
Well, I'm taking an interest in your people because I don't like seeing anyone not treated properly. I myself was recently turned by an accident, and I'm very progressive, as in equal rights and things of that nature. So I do not like to see your people put down in such a way and treated like this.
You're a new convert.
I am. I am not of the thin blood, but through an accident with some blood and experimentation of the government, I unfortunately find myself in this condition.
So is it that you're truly altruistic, or is it just that you haven't fallen in line yet?
I mean, I would consider myself truly altruistic personally, but I will also tell you that it is much more beneficial to not believe anyone,
It
especially if not at face value.
it may be a bit of both, but he's proven to be very kind, at least to me.
Hmm. You clearly haven't fallen in line then. Camerilla find kindness as a weakness.
Well, that's why you don't show them kindness. I do things where I can, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You have to follow the line when they are looking, if that makes sense.
And so, what exactly can we do for you then?
It's not necessarily what you can do for me. It is more about what I can do for you. Eventually, I would like to make sure you are represented and have a voice in the city. But until that time, I would like to make sure that your kind doesn't end up getting wiped out or persecuted any worse than you currently are.
And how exactly do you plan on accomplishing that?
I mean, there are many ways. I am well funded, so that should help. Number one.
So are the
But
Ventru.
Yes, but the Ventru are, well, the Ventru. They will fund whatever you need them to fund, but then they own it.
And you're trying to say we won't owe you?
You don't necessarily need to owe me, no. I am doing this of my own volition and don't expect anything in return except for your friendship.
You kind of look at each other for a moment, and one of them in the back kind of nods. All right. We're listening still.
I could have some kind of safe houses built for you, as well as I think you should come up with your own kind of safety network, as it were. Some way to contact other individuals, which I myself do not want to be involved in personally, because that allows me plausible deniability.
Of course.
But I certainly
you
think
wouldn't want to be traced back to anything.
not only that, I wouldn't want to have the information in order to give it, because there are many ways to get information from one of our kind. So this way, you are completely disconnected from me and thus greater vampire society for now.
I see. All right. So you're going to just be funneling us money to better establish ourselves. You don't want to know the hows or whys. of what we're doing for deniability, and you don't expect anything in return. I think that this is an agreeable start to an arrangement.
Perfect. Again, this is just the start of what I hope can eventually become a much more normal friendship. But as of right now, we all know how you are treated in the city, and if I was seen with you, it would eventually lead to both of our heads on a table.
Of course.
So I would give them the information of a way to give them probably like Bitcoin. That way it's like if you trace it through the right wallets and stuff like that, it's fairly untraceable.
Sure. Yeah, how much are you planning to give them right now?
Right now, probably like 100,000 to get them started.
Certainly.
Jeez. I forget that
And
you
that'll
have all the
pay.
money in the world.
Well, he's got
Yep.
he's got a good bit of money. He can't give it away like candy, but he's got enough to be comfortable for a good.
100K is kind of like a once a month kind of thing, right? Like
Yeah.
I can't just like go throw 100K everywhere.
Yeah,
but...
you're not going to be able to go big spending for a little while, but you are not going to also go into the red.
This is
Right,
just
but I mean,
pocket change.
If I'm telling them to like buy property and like get a proper network set up and all that kind of stuff, I also will make them aware. Keep in mind there's also the Inquisition for you to worry about. Just because you are not fully indoctrinated into our society doesn't mean the hunters are not going to come after you as well.
No,
So keep that in mind as well. Don't make the same mistake as the Nosferatu. I know we have a tendency to be dependent on technology, and I myself am currently trying to kick that as well.
So if we do need to get in touch with you, are we going through our friend Callista here?
That is what I would recommend, yes. I think it would be safe to have her stay with you and such, hopefully make friends, see how that goes, and as long as that's okay with her, you can funnel information through her. If that doesn't work out, then we can talk about something then.
I can manage that.
I don't see anything disagreeable with that.
Excellent. Well, I say this is a fairly productive first meeting.
I would agree.
So I guess we'll stay for the rest of the game and probably like chat about,
Yeah, absolutely. Between the two of you, one of you decide to roll charisma plus persuasion, and you can have a +2 bonus since Antonio just decided to bankroll this Thin Blood group.
Go ahead, Callista. I feel like you're due for a good one.
Hopefully, because yikes, those other rolls were.
Yeah.
It's only my best 2 sets of dice pool.
Right?
Charisma persuasion.
Yeah. As I'm talking to him, can I seduce the main guy?
Absolutely. So it'll be a +4 then.
Oh, damn. There we go.
Okay. So as we cut to break, you all spend the rest of this time enjoying the game. Callista spends this time getting to know the representative of Thin Bloods who are here. Whether or not they're the leader remains to be determined, but they're the one who's doing the talking here. the beast is a bit aggressive in its desire here. And Callista, of course, can consume food and alcohol, just like the under Thin Bloods. Which, Antonio, do you blush of life to at least sip?
Oh, definitely yes. Let me do a rouse check. I can't, with all the rest of them eating and stuff, I definitely cannot.
You don't want to sit out?
Yeah, exactly.
You get hungrier, which is
That's a
fine.
success.
But, oh, sorry, it's a success. I'm doing it backwards. You don't get hungrier. And for the duration of the game, you can keep it down. You do have to get rid of it afterwards. But Callista's beast is very vocal in its desire. The Toreador blood that courses through her wants something passionate, and by time the group has dispersed, Callista drags this individual off to go satiate that need, and probably cements a little bit more of a kinship between her and these individuals. And that's where we'll take our break.
Okay.
All right. I have Sam, the Thin Blood leader, question mark.
Question mark. All right, so everybody get up, go stretch, and then we'll come back and finish up the rest of this game. We'll be back in 5 minutes-ish. Hello.
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 Wow.
So I'm trying to grab, like, I guess I call it realign my notes. So, like, put over the course of time, like, what we need to know and what we don't need to know anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I'm not, like, always flipping through my stuff.
You're compiling your data.
Literally, yes. I didn't know what it was, so I was like, realign. Realign my focus. But
Reconnect your chakra.
to go real fast, so Prince is a Lasombra, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be asking what different clans people are.
No, that's cool. Go ahead and get it
The
all clarified.
Seneschal. What is she? I
Um,
have their names. I went on that little list, so I know their names. I just don't know their clans. If I would know their clan.
the Seneschal's clan is not listed, or at least it's
Okay.
not. You guys didn't inquire any of that information, so it's not provided to you just yet without doing some digging.
Okay.
They did meet 5
Yeah,
members
so we
of the
met
council, but you weren't there for that.
we met the sheriff, I know, and he was a gangrel, right?
Mm-hmm. The sheriff and his deputies were all gangrel.
And then Shadow is a Lasombra. And then Victor, I think he said he was a Toreador.
Yes, Victor Riddle is a Toreador, the Herald.
Would I no, like personally, like I know our coterie didn't acquire, but would I personally know what the Seneschal is, or no? If not, it's totally cool.
Do you mean no as in their clan?
Yeah.
You can make me a intelligence etiquette roll.
Cool. I will. Etiquette. Could I say this is research?
Yes.
Aha. That's fine.
2 successes. That's not much more than what you would need. She is a... Would you like to reroll your willpower?
Yes. So I get one more?
Yeah, just one.
There.
Okay. There we go. Cool. She does keep her clan affiliation a secret. And that is largely because they are normally not welcome within most Camerilla cities. There are rumors that she might be either a Ravnos or some other smaller clan that got absorbed into the city. That's the words I was looking for. Brain. That she might have just been scooped up by the prince and brought on. But there are people who say she might be a Ravnos. There are others who say, she could be anything from a Cappadocian or any of the other Hakata variants that had been drawn into it. And then there's also some people who say she might be a Reese. What's the one, the one with the demon magic? The Bali? VtM Bali? Is it Bali? Yeah, Bali. She could be even a Bali, but there's no confirmation. And being accused of being a Bali is very slanderous too.
Okay.
So I wouldn't like go around being like, "Hey, can you
Yeah.
summon demons?" But you know,
Yeah.
very likely she's probably a Hecata. But you know, there are the rumors going around that she just kind of showed up one day. There are other rumors that she had always been the prince's right hand, but people don't really know much
Talk
about
about
her.
it. Yeah.
She's
Cool.
mysterious.
And then I know at some point, whatever session it was, I don't remember exactly what session, but the one where I did research on the Sabat and the Lasombra, did I ever find out? I guess this is like as I'm reading it over, this is something I'm wondering, and I feel like maybe Viper would be wondering the same thing. So if he didn't look it up then, he would try and figure it out now. Why? Oh, are we still on our break? I know we are, but I was
No,
trying to ask while we were
not.
on our break.
No.
But okay, cool.
We're back. Everybody can hear you.
Hello. Why we have a Lasombra prince, but no, like, or I guess would he be considered the Lasombra primogen? Like, why we have no, like, nothing along those lines?
You don't have a primogen if you have the clan
prince?
as the prince.
Okay, cool. I did not know that. Viper would have, but I did not. So if it was weird, he would have looked into it. But since it's not, then never mind.
Yeah. He is the representative on the council.
Cool. And
There's
then,
normally like a position in the clan that kind of handles things like while the prince is doing the prince stuff. But they end up reporting to the prince anyway, so it's kind of
okay, cool. And then was the Samitsi guy? Was that the guy that we killed on the, or that I guess the sheriff killed on the reservation?
Yes, you all killed a Samichi on the reservation.
Okay, so we don't really have to know too much about that, I guess, except for how it repinged again somewhere else. But anyways, cool. And I think those are all the questions I have right now. But yeah, I was trying to, like I said, put it all back together. Wow, there are lots of notes here. It's going to take me a little while to go through all of these. Because I'm not doing it in order of sessions. I'm kind of like putting like all the stuff about the VtM first, and then all the stuff about the coterie, and then all that, and then I was going to go into sessions, but I'm trying to get all the basic information down right now. Fine. All right. Well, I'm good now.
Okay. So then we come back, and Lucian, is there anything you wanted to do within the immediate timeline?
No.
Okay.
Going with the flow.
Going with the flow.
Hoping that Viper doesn't find out anymore.
They might.
Oh,
They're keeping an eye on things.
For organization.
Give me a D100. Give me a D100 roll, please, Lucian.
Oh gosh. Is it slash roll?
Yep.
How are we dying?
How are we dying?
Six.
66. Okay.
Oh, cat.
Ooh, the cat.
Cat back.
The cat is back. Mother, I crave violence.
I crave snakes.
They crave attention right when it's Lucian's turn.
Always.
Okay. So going with the flow. Another month has passed for all of you. It seems like a blink in the eye of things for Kindred Society, but there is news for Callista of thin blood safe havens starting to pop up around the Phoenix area. They don't go into Scottsdale, but they're largely based in Mesa and Gilbert, and even a little bit in Tempe, where these little cells of safe havens are starting to pop up using Antonio's money. They don't reach out to you very often, but you do spend a lot of time with Samuel now that you've established a bit of a rapport with them. And, you know, even every so often, you might see groups of thin bloods starting to show up in Orpheum. And over time, let me roll something here for myself. Yeah, okay. And you kind of see that there isn't a significant increase in thin bloods, but there are definitely more than the one or two sprinklings that might pop up. Now it might be, you know, at Orpheum where you might have seen one other kind of make eye contact and knowing nod. Now there's like 4 or 5 that will be there at a time. And it seems like they're even there kind of shadowing over the club as like a sort of what's the word? Like when a gang is there to act as like, we're here as a presence so people know not to fuck with this place.
Like muscle. You know what I mean? Like they're
unofficial.
Like hired.
They're unofficial muscle. Like when a biker gang is like, we like this bar so we hang out here and people know not to mess with this bar because we're here drinking, and if they start anything, we're ones who jump in. So there's been this increasing presence of thin bloods that are mingling with your normal college kid and dance club scene. And you know them, you know, on a first name basis, so it's not like they're just encroaching on your territory. They've each had a chance to introduce themselves or make themselves known to you, but they only introduce themselves to you. The rest of the coterie do not know who they are, and since they can largely pass off as human without any, you know, tip-off, they just kind of fade into the crowd. Outside of that, Viper, your investigation, or at least your monitoring of the police investigation, kind of yields that things have started to not go cold, but it looks like they passed the blame off still as that murder-suicide between the parents, and the evidence hasn't really shown to the contrary. So while it seems suspicious to you, they haven't found any new evidence, and without having to go out there yourself to look, it's all you have to go on, because they've pretty much written this case as closed. Because there's no other suspects to look into.
Cool. And then what are they thinking about the son?
The son?
Did they say that he died with them?
Sorry, I thought you meant the literal son. I was like,
oh no,
they hate it. Phoenix
Pierre.
is a testament to man's hubris against nature. The son is still considered missing. They haven't been able to find any sign of him.
And then how about do they have any extended family that are looking into it too? Is there did they set up like a Find Pierre like Facebook page or something like that?
Oh, absolutely. There is one, and it's looking for Shay, what was the boy's name?
Pierre.
Well, that was the dog's name.
That was the dog.
It was also his name for some reason.
That was his name, yeah.
Let's see. I've got him.
I have it too.
Brandon Fisher was once Pierre Birchfield.
Yeah.
Yes.
Poor Pierre. So, hey, where's Perry is what it says on the milk cartons.
And I would be keeping in keeping a close eye on that.
Close to doesn't buy milk. She's lactose
those-
intolerant.
I would be keeping a good eye on those type of pages too, just to see if anyone is like, oh, I spotted him here and I did this and like that kind of stuff, just to see if anything pops up. But mostly right now, he's like still monitoring it, but he is not like actively like investigating. He's just like keeping an eye just in case something that would point towards a masquerade breach, because he knows that we have this kid that's still, or at least one of our coterie members has a kid that is still technically missing and all that, so just wants to make sure everything's in check with that. But
Yeah. I gotcha.
yeah, that's mostly his view on the investigation.
Alrighty. Go ahead.
Oh, he would have at some point brought it up with Callista, about possibly, about, I guess, like, had the, unless we wanted to just have a conversation real fast. Can I have a conversation with Callista?
Piper, how are you?
Absolutely. You're having it now.
Cool. Oh, sorry, I was looking at your niece. Oh, she's so cute. But yeah, he would just say, good. Now about this kid,
What about him?
Pierre, he is still being actively looked for, and whatever his name is, Brandon. I think you guys changed it.
Please call him Brandon Fisher.
Yeah, Brandon. Well, his previous identity is still being looked for, and I would pull up the Facebook page that has been made for the kid with his face as the profile picture.
He was supposed to be dead.
Yeah, but you know how some people are, like, if they can't find them, they still have hope and all that kind of stuff. So I was going to talk with you to figure out how we are going to make sure, other than having a different name, that he does not become a breach in the masquerade.
Well, aside from being my retainer, as I understand it, doing anything like cooling him or would slow his aging process. So, given time, he'd look entirely different as he gets older.
Are you planning on ghouling him?
I don't know.
Right.
If it would keep him safe, then yes. I don't need kindred bigger than I am breathing down my neck for something like that. Do you have any thoughts on the matter?
Well, I definitely think it's something that we should alert the higher-ups of. And I do think that ghouling him would be the safest option for him. This is just my opinion, though. I'm not a professional, somewhat. I have the same job as you, but
I don't get paid for being a vampire.
Yeah. Well, I guess he was
paid?
saying in the sense of like VtM, like all of that type of stuff. Like it's his job to make sure that, but not make sure that the masquerade's not breached. Because as we went over with the sire, it's reactionary. But he's still kind of doing it. He's more saving his butt right now. But yeah, he would say that. Yeah, I think ghouling him might be the best option, just because if it does become an issue, the best option then were to be, well, if you don't ghoul him and it becomes an issue, obviously, well, we will have to take care of that. And you will not be able to be involved in that because that would be a personal connection.
Or they would have to be the one to do it.
Yeah, or honestly, the way that this society works, which I guess you might not know, is it would be a punishment that you would have to be the one to kill him. Oh, this is happening in my lab, by the way. Like, this isn't out in the open.
What?
Yeah.
Well, Antonio was talking about getting him an education so that he had more value than just kind of a personal assistant to me, so that he's less likely to be a target.
Antonio said this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Immediately, it has to be terrible.
And how would you go about getting him the education? Online school, something like that? Or would he be attending in person?
I was not in person. No, that's too dangerous. I was considering doing some courses, setting up some courses for him, but Antonio actually recommended getting him a tutor. So maybe someone who's well within the Camerilla society.
Sounds good.
And I guess with his resources, that's an easy thing to do.
With his resources, yes. Well, I don't want all of this to be reliant on Antonio.
Definitely nothing suspicious about that.
I've been teaching him what I can here and there.
So when you say education, what type of education? Just very basic, like, learning stuff?
Well, yes, but maybe something to help him specialize. I actually was going to have a talk with him to ask him what he was most interested in. Antonio was recommending him something with technology, which is I don't know anything about technology enough to teach anyone. So I
How old are you?
How old am I, or how old am I supposed to be?
I guess both.
Um,
Isn't the technology like a thing with the new generation of people?
Yeah.
I suck with technology, just so you know.
No, I'm absolutely well aware of the dangers of technology to our society, which is.
I wasn't. I'm not usually good at this, but you're very obvious. I wasn't questioning you to like punish you, or I'm not suspicious of you or anything. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to go about this without all of us getting in trouble.
Yeah.
I was just confused when you said about not being good with technology. Sorry, I did not mean to scare you.
Oh no. Yeah. There's. I maintain a presence, but only to maintain the masquerade. If you were another thought I had was to find someone who might be able to be his sponsor. Me being only partially kindred. Already I'm kind of low on the totem pole, but since schools are treated better than me, I figured that would be a safer position for him.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
How long have these? It has to be getting cold. These people looking for him have to have it be going cold at this point.
Well, the case has already gone cold, or they've technically already solved it. They said it was a murder-suicide, but there are people from back when I was alive that families a generation later are still looking for that one person. They're still raising awareness, even if or figuring out what happened to them. People are curious, especially when it comes to things that they care about. That's the whole human nature type of thing. But also in terms of our society, that could be viewed as a threat, which I guess the reason I asked and brought you here was to see if you would be okay. I guess with how the best way we should go about one, including him in the society, because I know that's something you care about, but also how to go about bringing his existence in this society, or how to go about informing this society of his existence. Because secrets don't go over well.
Kindred Society, you mean?
Kindred, yes.
Oh, I already have him registered as my retainer, but Kindred's frown on.
Did you did you inform them of the name change and all of that stuff?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
From what I understand, Kindreds don't approve of, mostly don't approve, except in extreme circumstances, of converting children.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that.
So I think he's safe for like another. I think he's safe as a retainer for like another 5 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And then how about this? How does he seem to be doing in terms of what's the word? Childish. Yes, curiosity. Has he been asking about wanting to go out places and hang out with friends and stuff like that?
Mommy, how are babies made?
I mean, he seems super content just being at Orpheum. I may have been spoiling him a bit.
Okay. I just, I guess I want, hold on. I want to make sure wow, this is weird. Why? Okay. I guess I want to make sure he has the good quality of life.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if this is like a good comparison, but he's kind of like to me what your snakes are to you, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
But obviously at the same time, it's also kind of like, if an animal is suffering, the best thing to do would be put them down. And you don't want to keep them alive for selfish reasons. If this is going to be a threat to him staying around, the best thing for you might to do would be, yeah. But also at the same time, I guess if I had to admit to something, I don't know if this is quite what it is. I want him to still have a good life. I guess you could say I kind of, in a way, view him as one of my snakes. Not quite a child of mine, but you know, something
That's really sweet.
friend. That's the word. Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, you
Good
did
friends.
you did save his life, so I can understand that. You wouldn't want your efforts to be put to waste.
Also, I don't want to get in trouble. That's another thing too. I am trying to save my own ass.
Yes.
Another curse word, but it's okay.
Well, he's already got like legal documentation of a different person. I guess the only thing is his appearance. Yeah, but you know, I've been giving him like different haircuts, and he's got new clothes. I'm not like making him wear like different color eye contacts or anything, but
well, I guess if he's okay with, you know, spending most of his time indoors, which honestly I was the same way as a kid. I was not huge on going out and interacting with people. Then that's fine. I just, you know, want to make sure it's not a threat.
I don't think it is. And his quality of life is absolutely much better than it was when I found him. But after, you know, after what happens, there's really no way to reintegrate him back into human society.
Another question. Just curiosity question. Does he know about what happened to his family?
He knows that they're dead.
Okay. And then I guess
I don't want to tell him that they sold him.
yeah. No, I know that. I guess while we're on the topic, because I guess it just occurred to me. Do you know anything about what happened to his family?
I do not.
What could have happened?
Right, and I have to roll something for that because while I technically do not know, I do have an inclination.
You do have ideas.
Isn't it ironic that both things that Viper's investigating?
I know. But yeah, no. Also, I guess I wanted to make it clear, like, that isn't me, like, I guess, metagaming. That was like, wait, I actually did realize it in the moment. I was like, wait, this would be something that would kind of be like, Viper might connect the dots right there. Just a little bit, that maybe, not connect the dots, but like, question for a moment, and just to eliminate it.
Yep. Alright. So, do you want subterfuge or persuasion?
Should I roll too? Can I roll like an insight just to make sure?
I think this is. I think it's
cool.
I think it's two skills against each other.
Okay.
Aaron, do you want subterfuge manipulation? Or
Yeah.
subterfuge charisma? Or is it persuasion?
What do you feel is the most appropriate for this situation?
I feel like it's either subterfuge or persuasion with manipulation. Or
I think I was gonna say, I think manipulation persuasion kind of works because you're not quite lying.
that is true.
That is a good point. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Or protecting
you
your
are-
favorite Malkavian.
Basically.
And then, what would you want? What's with insight?
It would be your wits awareness.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it'd be awareness and not insight.
Oh my god, why are you like this today?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
thank you.
Okay, kind of to help a little bit though, could I, and this was just like making sense with the narrative. I honestly don't think Viper has much reason right now to suspect her or anything like that. So could I give myself a -1? Like he's just asking just to be like, "Oh wait, do you know anything?" It's not really like he
Yeah,
suspects and is like,
you can always
cool.
penalize yourself, for sure.
"Hey, cool." I just want to make it more realistic.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
So I think for this, Callista is just very much like, I have a suspicion. I do not want to know though.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
Basically.
All right. Well, cool. I do. Hold on. Okay, wait. Where were we in the conversation? So he had asked if she knew anything about it, and she said no.
And if the kid knew anything, yeah, and it was a lot of no's.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, then Pepper would just kind of nod, and he is doing that thing that he always does, where like not always, but you know, he has his clipboard and he's writing notes, kind of like health inspector type thing. And he kind of just like clicks his pen and like kind of like bites on it and thinks for a moment, and then he's like, all right, I think that's good. I guess real fast too. I guess another curiosity question: how are things going at the Half Moon place? So is everything running smoothly there? Do you know anything about that?
The madams there keep everything. How do I put it? Airtight.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I'm only allowed. I'm really only taken below when I need to be. Everything that cannot be seen in human society is kept well behind the curtains, I guess I should say.
All right. And do you plan on taking in every child that they bring in?
I do not plan on it.
Okay. I was just wondering for future reference if I need to have this conversation again.
I mean, normally they don't do children. I think that, and I have no way of backing this up, but I think it was punishment for me.
Why? Oh, wait, never mind. That's territory I probably shouldn't be brought into. That is personal stuff. I will not ask that question.
That's all right. I was a poor host to my madam. She was not happy with my introductions to the coterie when we first got together. But it's better now. It's much better.
Cool. Well, it seems like I would not be good at that job. So it's a good thing you have it.
Yep. Anything I can do to keep everybody amicable.
All right. Well, I'm all good. Watch out for the poison dart trap out there.
The what?
There's just don't tell the others, but we have new security measures around here.
Secrets.
Right. Is there a certain path I should take?
Mm-hmm. And then I'll take a map out and show her.
And I gratefully accept the path of death avoidance.
And then I'll rearrange it when she leaves.
I love it. It's like, yeah, here it is, and then change it immediately.
It's after she leaves, though. It's already exited.
Oh no, that's what I mean. It's like as soon as they're gone, it's different.
Yeah, before she leaves though, she's like, so is this map good for, going forward, or should I expect this as trash later?
Oh yeah, buddy, just go back through this way. It'll always be safe.
Yeah, Viper would look at her and kind of be like, oh, well, yeah, I don't plan on inviting you guys back here again, so.
Oh, well,
I mean, maybe you, but I don't know for sure yet. I haven't decided.
I'd give you a hug if Kindred were into hugs.
I'm not a huge touchy-feely person.
I didn't think so.
Yeah. But I guess I will say, if this is good, I trust you more than I trust the others, but that doesn't mean I want other people in my stuff.
That is a huge compliment, being...
It's still little, like, not too big, but it's bigger.
Oh, no, I mean, it's big to me.
Alright.
Thank you, Viper.
You're welcome.
Anything else I can do, just let me know.
I will.
And I will take the path of survivability.
It's kind of like written instructions. There's not actually a map. Cause
I trust you more than I trust the others. Not hard.
All right. Is that? Oh. Oh. Hire a freaking babysitter. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I meant to pull up the stream so that I could have one of the viewers read the comments, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm. You might be a vampire. Yes. Room full of yes men. I just noticed them, so you weren't being ignored. I just wasn't looking at chat, but this is all true and hilarious, and I wish I had noticed it sooner. But it's fine. Sorry for that.
What are they saying? Sorry, I just got on.
They were mostly talking about how gangrel are the worst. No, it's not it at all.
Of course.
It's just a lot of commentary on what you guys were doing. It's all good. But,
am I halfway on the stream? It looks like I'm halfway on the picture.
You keep shifting position, and I try and adjust your camera as it happens. But I just kind of gave up after the break, so it's just like.
Okay, well there we go. I'm good now.
Mm-hmm.
That made it better or worse? It's weird because it lags.
Yeah, your center. It doesn't help that your thing is tilted too. So there we go.
Oh, my
picture.
I was like, my camera's not. I try to make it level.
So you're never gonna be truly center, but you're center-ish.
I mean, I could go back and make this.
I don't want you to. It looks great.
Cool.
Is there anything else we want to address tonight?
I'm just gonna do the things I said. I need to talk to my brain's stopping. Pierre/Brandon and my sire, and then I need to start getting the performance set up.
Okay.
And inviting Kindred.
Antonio, is there any short stuff you want to handle tonight?
No, I think I'm all good. Still plotting my eminent awesomeness.
Okay. So for next week, so Callista stuff, I'm gonna bookmark that for next week so we can pad that out since we're gonna be down Lucian. Lucian, is there anything you want to address before we wrap up for character?
No, just playing with my snakes.
Okay. So,
Viper would help you give you some tips on how to take care of them and stuff like that. He's not mad that you got some snakes. It's more snakes for him to be friends with.
Yeah, I'm doing this for the snakes, not for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. If they hang out, it's because he's with the snakes.
All right. So we'll wrap up here then, and we'll come in fresh next week with 3 of you, Antonio, Viper, and Callista, to get more shenanigans done, to see what happens with the growing political dynamic that Antonio has introduced into the Phoenix area. Raises question marks. And I'll figure out what Lucian is getting up to in that time as well. So that is it. Thank you, guys.
I did have a quick question,
Oh,
but never mind.
quick answer. Go.
We can always discuss it afterwards. I was
Go.
going to see if I found out anything about, like, when I did the tests on the rat and stuff like that. Like,
What were you
just
looking
where they
for?
were from. It was like where they were, where
Oh.
exactly they.
They were from Brazil. No, they were from Phoenix. These are just the common rats. That live in the area.
I did want to look at their blood though and see if there are any like anomalies or abnormalities, stuff like that.
Give me a quick research roll.
Okay.
I feel like you could do some.
Would it be a science roll?
Yeah. Give me an intelligence science roll, and then you can throw your research in there.
It's not reptile, so I can't do. Could I do zoology?
Yes.
Cool. So 2.
Is that a critical or just a 10? Just a 10.
It's just a 10, but I'll do another.
Do you want to
willpower.
reroll? You got 3 dice. You can
Yeah.
reroll. That's a critical.
Hey. Haha.
Okay.
6.
So they would have, like, the rest of the coterie would have brought back some rats for you to look at too, after they fought Rat Daddy and decided, hey, these might be important too. And not all of them have it, but there is a particularly large rodent of unusual size that they brought, thinking it would be interesting for you to look at. And when you test its blood, it has some Nosferatu kindred blood in it. Looks like this might have been its familius.
And then also, I guess. Sorry, I'm writing.
That familiar is a witness to everything that kindred has done.
I know. Is it dead? It's dead though. Yeah. I guess I would also be looking to see, because these were the ones that he was controlling, right? Like that he was contacting with and stuff like that.
Yep.
I guess just seeing like if they're. I would be looking like. I guess I would probably keep like a few of them. And like be looking really in depth. Like this would be like over the course of like the next few months and stuff. Because I think I would also be trying to figure out like powers and stuff, and if like being able to connect with animals and stuff like that, like changes their DNA or changes our DNA, something like that. Obviously DNA for us is different, but like I don't know, seeing if it does anything to the animal specifically, but.
I feel like Viper and Epione would get along.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, with all of that in mind, now we will wrap up.
Yes.
So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you chat for being so active. I wish I had seen you sooner so that we could have had more. But this is our Phoenix by Night Blood of the Phoenix game, and these are the wonderful players who show up. We will be live 8:30s Tuesdays going forward. Whether we are down one person, we will always make an account or accommodations for it. If we're down 2 people for any reason, you may not see us, but that's at half capacity, so maybe we'll do shorter sessions or something, but we'll figure it out. Right now we've had a good streak of maintaining our schedule, so let's keep that momentum running.
Yes.
Otherwise, have a great night, everyone. And is it Tuesday yet? No, it doesn't
Night.
work. All right, have a great night.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.